Welcome to this video on information assurance, the backbone of cybersecurity. In today's digital world, protecting information isn't just important, it's critical. Every second, cyber threats emerge, putting personal data, financial assets, and entire organizations at risk. This video will explain the 6 essential principles of information assurance and provide real-world examples of cybersecurity successes and failures. What is information assurance? Information assurance focuses on keeping data safe, accurate, and accessible. Strong cybersecurity measures are crucial to protecting sensitive information, whether you're an individual, a business owner, or part of a government organization. Without proper security, data breaches, financial loss, and legal consequences can occur. That's why information assurance is built upon 6 key principles, each vital in protecting digital assets. The 6 core principles of information assurance. The foundation of information assurance is built on 6 critical principles. The first one is confidentiality. It ensures that only authorized individuals can access sensitive data. The next is integrity, which guarantees that information remains accurate and unaltered unless authorized. Availability is the third principle, which ensures that systems and data remain accessible when needed. Another principle is authentication, which verifies that users and systems are who they claim to be. Non-repudiation is another principle of information assurance. It prevents users from denying their actions. The 6th and last principle is privacy, which safeguards personal and sensitive information. Throughout this video, we'll dive into each principle in detail, exploring how they work and why they matter. Number 1. Confidentiality. The first principle of information assurance is confidentiality. This means ensuring that only authorized users, systems, or processes can access sensitive information. Think about your bank account details. You wouldn't want them exposed to the public, right? Confidentiality safeguards this type of data from unauthorized access, leaks, or breaches. Organizations use various security measures to enforce confidentiality, such as encryption, access controls, and authentication mechanisms. How confidentiality is enforced. Organizations implement confidentiality using 3 main techniques. The first one is encryption. This converts readable data into an unreadable format using secure algorithms, like AES-256, ensuring that only authorized parties can decrypt it. The second is access controls. These limit access based on roles and permissions. For example, employees in different departments may have different levels of access to company data. And the last one is multi-factor authentication, MFA. This adds extra security layers by requiring more than just a password, such as a fingerprint scan or a verification code sent to a trusted device. Case study: the Equifax data breach. One of the most devastating confidentiality failures happened in 2017, when Equifax, a major credit reporting agency, suffered a massive data breach. At this data breach, hackers gained access to the sensitive personal data of 147 million people, including social security numbers and financial records. The breach occurred because Equifax failed to encrypt critical data, making it easy for attackers to steal. Had they properly implemented strong encryption and access controls, this breach could have been prevented. This highlights the importance of confidentiality in cybersecurity. How to protect confidential data. To protect confidential data, you should follow these best practices. Use strong encryption. Encrypting sensitive data both at rest, when stored, and in transit, when sent over networks, helps to protect confidential data. Implement role-based access controls, RBAC. Implementing role-based access controls, RBAC, ensures that users only have access to the data they need to perform their job. Enforce multi-factor authentication, MFA. Enforcing multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security beyond just passwords. Regularly update security policies. Cyber threats evolve constantly, so we should update access controls and security protocols to stay ahead. By implementing these confidentiality measures, companies and individuals can significantly reduce the risk of data breaches. Number 2, integrity. The second core principle of information assurance is integrity. This ensures that data remains unchanged and trustworthy unless explicitly authorized to be modified. If an attacker were to alter financial records, tamper with system configurations, or modify critical business documents, the consequences could be severe. That's why organizations use strong integrity mechanisms to detect and prevent data manipulation. How data integrity is maintained. To protect data integrity, organizations rely on 3 key techniques. The first one is hashing. This converts data into a unique hash value or fingerprint. If even a single character changes, the hash completely changes, signaling potential tampering. The second technique is using digital signatures. These provide a way to verify the authenticity of a message or document. When a digital signature is applied, any modification to the document will render the signature invalid. And the last one is auditing and monitoring. Security teams use logs and audits to track who accessed or changed data. If unauthorized modifications occur, they can be quickly detected and addressed. Case study: the Bangladesh bank heist. A major example of a failure in data integrity occurred in 2016, when hackers stole $101 million from Bangladesh Bank by exploiting weaknesses in financial record security. At this attack, attackers infiltrated the SWIFT banking system, manipulating transaction data to redirect massive amounts of money to fraudulent accounts. Because there were no strong integrity checks in place, the fraudulent transactions were processed as if they were legitimate. If hashing and digital signature verification had been properly enforced, these changes could have been flagged and prevented. This case highlights the importance of maintaining data integrity in critical systems. How to ensure data integrity. To prevent data integrity breaches, organizations should follow these best practices. Use cryptographic hashing. With the use of cryptographic hashing, we can secure hash functions like SHA-256, which help to detect unauthorized data changes. Implement digital signatures. While implementing digital signatures, we will sign documents and transactions, ensuring authenticity and preventing tampering. Regularly audit system logs. Regularly auditing system logs will help to monitor changes, which can help quickly identify unauthorized modifications. Enable tamper-proof storage. Some databases use immutable storage, meaning data cannot be altered once recorded. By applying these integrity controls, organizations can prevent cybercriminals from manipulating critical information. Number 3, availability. The third principle of information assurance is availability, ensuring that systems, networks, and data remain accessible whenever needed. In today's world, businesses rely on constant uptime to operate smoothly. If a bank's servers go down or a hospital's patient records become inaccessible, the consequences could be disastrous. Availability ensures that services remain functional and responsive, even in the face of cyber attacks, hardware failures, or unexpected disasters. How to maintain system availability. Organizations use various strategies to keep their systems available, even during disruptions. The first strategy is implementing redundancy. Using backup servers, failover systems, and load balancers ensures that if one system fails, another takes over. Creating cloud-based backup system regularly backing up critical data in secure cloud storage ensures that even if a primary system is compromised, operations can resume quickly. Implementing DDoS mitigation techniques. Cybercriminals often launch distributed denial of service (DDoS) attacks, overwhelming systems with fake traffic to cause downtime. DDoS protection filters out malicious traffic before it impacts the network. Case study: the Colonial pipeline ransomware attack. A major availability failure happened in 2021, when the Colonial pipeline, a key fuel supplier in the U.S., was shut down due to a ransomware attack. This attack forced a multi-day shutdown, leading to fuel shortages and massive economic losses. The company did not have a fast disaster recovery system, causing delays in restoring operations. If proper redundancy, failover systems, and backups had been in place, the attack's impact could have been significantly minimized. This incident highlights why availability measures are essential in cybersecurity. How to keep systems and data available. To ensure high availability, organizations should follow these best practices. The first one is using redundant servers and failover systems. This ensures that if one system goes down, another immediately takes over. Maintaining regular backups and test recovery plans is another practice. It's not enough to back up data, you must test restoration procedures regularly. Deploying DDoS protection services is another way. This helps prevent cyberattacks from overwhelming your servers. The last practice was implementing cloud storage for disaster recovery. Implementing cloud-based solutions allows for rapid restoration after an incident. By applying these availability strategies, businesses can stay operational, even in the face of cyber threats. Number 4, Authentication. The fourth core principle of information assurance is authentication, the process of verifying the identity of users, devices, or systems before granting access. Without proper authentication, unauthorized users could gain access to sensitive data, impersonate others, or compromise entire networks. Strong authentication methods reduce the risk of breaches and identity theft. Types of authentication methods. Authentication can be implemented in several ways. The first one is implementing the method of something you know. This includes passwords, PINs, and security questions, but these can be easily stolen or guessed. The second way is implementing the method of something you have. This includes smart cards, authentication tokens, or security keys, which add a physical layer of security. The next way is implementing the method of something you are. Biometric authentication methods, like fingerprints, facial recognition, and retina scans, provide high security and convenience. And the last way is implementing the method of multi-factor authentication, MFA. The most secure approach is to combine multiple authentication methods, such as requiring a password, fingerprint, or smart card, and a one-time passcode, OTP. Case study: the Twitter phishing attack. A major authentication failure occurred in 2020, when Twitter employees fell for a phishing scam, allowing hackers to gain control of high-profile accounts like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Barack Obama. At this attack, the attackers tricked employees into revealing their login credentials, bypassing weak security controls. As a result, the hackers used these accounts to promote a Bitcoin scam, deceiving thousands of people. However, Twitter's use of multi-factor authentication, MFA, prevented the hackers from gaining deeper access to internal systems. This incident highlights the importance of strong authentication measures. How to strengthen authentication security. To enhance authentication security, organizations should follow these best practices. Requiring MFA for all sensitive accounts. Multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security, making it harder for hackers to gain access. Using strong, unique passwords and avoiding reuse. Passwords should be long, complex, and never reused across different sites. Implementing passwordless authentication where possible. Methods like biometric authentication and security keys reduce reliance on passwords, which are often the weakest security link. Regularly updating authentication policies based on new threats. Cyber threats evolve, so authentication strategies must be continuously updated to stay ahead of attackers. By applying strong authentication methods, organizations and individuals can greatly reduce the risk of unauthorized access and cyber attacks. Number 5, Non-Repudiation. The fifth key principle of information assurance is non-repudiation. This ensures that once an action is taken, such as sending an email, making a financial transaction, or signing a contract, there is undeniable proof of who performed it. Without non-repudiation, a user could deny making a transaction, sending an important document, or performing a specific action on a system, creating serious security and legal issues. To prevent this, organizations use digital signatures, audit logs, and cryptographic verification to ensure that actions cannot be denied or falsified. How to ensure non-repudiation? Non-repudiation is enforced using several key mechanisms. The first one is using digital signatures. These are cryptographic techniques that bind a user's identity to a document or transaction, preventing them from later claiming they never signed it. Another key mechanism is using audit logs. Systems keep detailed logs of who accessed what, when, and what actions were performed, providing a clear record of accountability. Implementing cryptographic hashing is another most important mechanism for non-repudiation. Hashing ensures that data remains unchanged after an action is taken, preventing tampering and proving the original state of a transaction or document. Case study: blockchain and non-repudiation. A real-world example of non-repudiation in action is blockchain technology. Every transaction on a blockchain is permanently recorded in a decentralized ledger, making it impossible to alter or delete past transactions. Cryptographic proofs and digital signatures verify that each transaction is authentic and was performed by the rightful owner. Because of its tamper-proof nature, blockchain ensures that transactions cannot be denied or manipulated after they occur. This is why blockchain is widely used in cryptocurrency, supply chain management, and secure contracts. How to strengthen non-repudiation. To ensure non-repudiation, organizations should adopt the following best practices. The first one is using cryptographically secure digital signatures. This ensures that documents and transactions have verifiable proof of origin. Maintaining tamper-proof logs for sensitive transactions is another best practice. Audit logs with timestamps help track user actions, preventing denial of involvement. Another important practice is implementing timestamping to track key actions. Adding timestamps to emails, contracts, and transactions creates an immutable record of when and where actions were taken. And encrypting important communications to prevent tampering in another practice. Secure encryption ensures that messages cannot be altered or falsified after they are sent. By applying non-repudiation techniques, businesses and individuals can prevent fraud, enhance accountability, and build trust in digital transactions. Number 6. Privacy. The sixth and final principle of information assurance is privacy. Privacy ensures that personal and sensitive data is collected, stored, and shared responsibly. In today's digital world, companies, websites, and apps collect massive amounts of personal data, from names and email addresses to browsing history and financial details. Without proper privacy protections, this data could be misused, sold, or exposed in cyberattacks. Governments worldwide have introduced laws like GDPR, Europe, CCPA, California, and HIPAA, healthcare regulations in the US, to ensure organizations handle data ethically. Key methods for ensuring privacy. Privacy protection relies on several important strategies. The first strategy is implementing data encryption. Encrypting personal data ensures that even if it's intercepted or stolen, it remains unreadable without the correct decryption key. Another one is implementing anonymization and masking. Companies often use data anonymization to remove personal identifiers from datasets, making it harder for hackers to link information to a specific person. And the last strategy is taking user consent and implementing transparency. Privacy laws require companies to inform users about what data is being collected and how it will be used, allowing users to opt in or out. Case study: Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. A major privacy violation occurred in 2019, when Facebook was exposed for allowing Cambridge Analytica to harvest data from 87 million users, without their consent. This data was used to manipulate political campaigns, raising global concerns about privacy and data misuse. The scandal violated privacy laws and led to Facebook facing a $5 billion fine from the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, FTC. As a result, privacy regulations were strengthened worldwide, with new protections in place to prevent companies from misusing personal data without consent. How to keep personal data secure. To protect privacy and comply with global regulations, organizations and individuals should follow these best practices. The first one is encrypting personal data. Encryption ensures that even if data is compromised, it cannot be easily read or misused. Obtaining explicit user consent is another best practice. Organizations should always clearly inform users before collecting their data, providing them with opt-in and opt-out options. The next practice is limiting data collection. Companies should only collect essential information, rather than gathering excessive data that increases privacy risks. And another important practice is complying with privacy laws. Regulations like GDPR and CCPA outline strict guidelines for handling, storing, and sharing personal data. By following these privacy protections, organizations can build trust with users while reducing the risk of data breaches and legal consequences. Why these security concepts matter. Now that we've covered the 6 core principles of information assurance, the big question is, why do they matter? In today's interconnected world, cyber threats are increasing every day. These 6 security principles help protect businesses, governments, and individuals from cyberattacks, ensuring that data remains safe, accurate, and accessible. Without these protections, sensitive information could be stolen, altered, or lost, leading to financial loss, reputational damage, and even legal consequences. The cost of ignoring cybersecurity. Failing to follow information assurance principles can lead to serious consequences. Data breaches cost businesses millions of dollars. Major cyberattacks can shut down operations, expose customer data, and lead to massive financial losses. Weak security leads to identity theft and fraud. Poor authentication or privacy practices can allow hackers to steal personal information, leading to identity fraud and financial theft. Non-compliance results in legal penalties. Organizations that fail to meet security and privacy regulations face hefty fines and legal action. This is why strong cybersecurity practices are no longer optional, they're essential. How to apply these security principles. To stay protected, it's important to apply these security principles in your daily life and work. Here's how you can do it. The first one is using strong passwords and enabling multi-factor authentication. This prevents unauthorized access to your accounts. The next principle is keeping software and security systems up to date. Hackers exploit outdated software, so always install security updates. Creating backup data and using encryption for sensitive information is another way. This ensures that even if a system is compromised, your data remains safe. Staying informed about cybersecurity threats and best practices is another way of protecting you. Cyber threats evolve constantly, so continuous learning is key. By following these best practices, you can enhance your security and reduce your risk of falling victim to cyber threats. Final thoughts on information assurance. As we wrap up, it's important to remember that cybersecurity is not a one-time solution, it's an ongoing process. Cyber threats are constantly evolving, and staying protected requires continuous learning and adaptation. By applying the 6 principles of information assurance, organizations and individuals can significantly reduce the risk of cyberattacks and build trust in digital systems. Ultimately, everyone has a role to play in securing data and protecting sensitive information. Now that you understand the importance of information assurance, take action. Take a review of your cybersecurity practices today, make sure your accounts, passwords, and security settings are up to date. Keep learning and stay updated on security trends. Cyber threats are always evolving, so it's crucial to stay informed. Share this information with others so that they can understand these principles, which strengthen overall digital security. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more cybersecurity content, and drop a comment below with your thoughts or any questions you have. By working together and staying proactive, we can build a safer digital world. Thanks for watching.